When my grandfather died, he left me his house. And a list of rules. Don't open the basement after sunset. Don't knock back. And the man in the hallway isn't him. It learns. I broke one. When he died, I was the only relative who showed up to claim anything. The others had already cut ties years ago. They called him strange. Paranoid. Dangerous to be around. They were wrong. He wasn't paranoid. He was prepared. The house sat on the edge of town where the streetlights ended and the trees began. A tall, leaning structure of peeling paint and dark windows that reflected nothing. Not even the sun. Inside, everything smelled like dust and something older, something damp and metallic. The will was simple. I inherited the house and everything inside it. And a sealed envelope. It was sitting on the kitchen table, placed carefully in the center as if he'd arranged it for me moments before leaving. My name written in his shaky handwriting. I opened it. Inside was a single sheet of yellowed paper. At the top, in bold black ink, rules for surviving in this house. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. The rules were written clearly. Deliberately. Each one underlined. Rule 1, never open the basement door after sunset. Rule 2, if you hear knocking from inside the walls, do not knock back. Rule 3, the man in the hallway is not me. I remember laughing at that one. God, I wish I hadn't. There were more. Rule 4, if a window is open in the morning, close it before you look outside. Rule 5, do not sleep past 3 in the morning. Rule 6, if you smell smoke but see no fire, leave the house immediately and return only at dawn. And finally Rule 7, if you break a rule, do not let it know you did. At the bottom, a final sentence written darker than the rest. It learns. I stood in that kitchen reading the page again and again. I checked the locks. I checked the basement door. I even checked the hallway. Nothing. Just an old house settling. That first night. I almost followed everything perfectly. Almost. The sun had set. The house had grown colder in a way that wasn't natural. I could feel the temperature drop room by room, like something was walking through the walls, draining warmth as it passed. At around 2:50 in the morning, I woke up. Not because of noise. Because of silence. The kind of silence that presses against your ears. Then I heard it. Knocking. Soft. Inside the walls. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. Pause. It was moving. Traveling along the interior of the house like fingers tracing wood. I remembered Rule 2. Do not knock back. So I didn't. The tapping grew louder. Closer. Then it stopped right behind my headboard. I held my breath. That's when someone knocked on my bedroom door. 3 times. Slow. Deliberate. My grandfather's voice came from the other side. Open up, he said gently. It's just me. Every hair on my body stood up. Rule 3. The man in the hallway is not me. I didn't answer. The doorknob rattled once. Then twice. Then it stopped. I lay awake until morning, staring at the ceiling, counting the seconds between heartbeats. When sunlight finally crept through the curtains, I felt foolish. Exhausted. Embarrassed. Maybe grief was playing tricks on me. Maybe the rules were just the scribblings of a deteriorating mind. That thought followed me downstairs. And that's when I saw the basement door. Open. Just a crack. And the smell. Smoke. But there was no fire. I had broken 2 rules before the first sunrise. And something inside the house now knew. The basement door was open. Only a few inches. Just enough to let darkness spill into the kitchen like ink in water. The smell of smoke lingered thick, bitter, wrong. Rule 6. If you smell smoke but see no fire, leave the house immediately and return only at dawn. It was dawn. Technically. A thin gray light was pressing through the windows. Not full morning. Not safety. I stood there staring at the crack in the basement door. My heart pounded. So hard I could feel it in my fingertips. I hadn't opened it. Which meant something else had. And if something else could open doors, it could learn. I should have left. Instead, I stepped closer. The air grew colder with every inch. "Grandpa?" I whispered before I could stop myself. The basement steps creaked. Not under my weight. Under something else's. Slow. Measured. Ascending. My body moved before my mind did. I slammed the basement door shut and threw the deadbolt across it. The impact rattled the frame. Silence. Then 3 knocks. From the other side of the door. Not frantic. Not angry. Patient. It knew I was there. I backed away, shaking. And then I made my worst mistake. I said, "I know you're not him." The knocking stopped. Completely. The silence that followed was not empty. It was attentive. Rule 7. If you break a rule, do not let it know you did. I had acknowledged it. Named the game. The temperature in the kitchen dropped so fast my breath fogged. The windows began to tremble in their frames. Upstairs, a door creaked open. Then another. Footsteps crossed the ceiling above me. Walking. Room to room. Like someone mapping the space. Like someone memorizing it. It learns. That final sentence from the letter echoed in my mind. The footsteps stopped directly above the kitchen. Directly above me. The light bulb overhead flickered. Once. Twice. Then went out. Darkness swallowed the room. I don't remember running upstairs. I just remember finding myself in the hallway, staring toward my bedroom. The door was open. Inside, the curtains were drawn tight. And someone was sitting on the edge of my bed. Back facing me. Wearing my grandfather's coat. I could see the back of its head. Too still. Too straight. My grandfather had always slouched. It spoke without turning. "You read them wrong." The voice was almost his. Almost. Like someone mimicking a recording. "I wrote them," it continued softly. My stomach dropped. "You think they were for you?" My throat went dry. The figure slowly tilted its head, not naturally, but in a slow, grinding arc. "They were for me." The hallway walls began to pulse, the wallpaper rippling like breathing skin. "I needed rules," it whispered. "To keep it contained." The air shifted. And behind me, at the far end of the hallway, I saw it. Tall. Wrongly proportioned. Its limbs slightly too long. Its silhouette bending at impossible angles. The real thing. The one that had been knocking. The one in the walls. The figure on my bed began to stand. It turned its head fully around this time. Its face was my grandfather's. But stretched. Smiling too wide. "Now it knows you're here," it said gently. The tall shape at the end of the hallway began to move toward us. Not walking. Gliding. The house groaned around me like it was in pain. In that moment, I understood. The rules were never meant to protect the person inside the house. They were meant to protect the world outside of it. My grandfather hadn't been surviving the house. He had been containing it. And I had broken the structure. Broken the rhythm. Broken the agreement. The thing in the hallway stopped inches from me. It didn't have eyes. But I felt it looking. Studying. Learning. Then it leaned close to where my ear should be. And whispered my name. Perfectly. I don't remember how I escaped. I only remember waking up on the front lawn at sunrise. The house behind me was silent. Peaceful. Ordinary. The basement door was closed. The windows were shut. The air smelled clean. On the front steps sat the letter. Folded. Rewritten. My handwriting this time. At the top, rules for surviving in this house. There were more of them now. And I don't remember writing a single one. I don't live there anymore. But sometimes, when I wake up at exactly 3 in the morning, I hear knocking. Not in my walls. In my head. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. Pause. It's still learning. And I'm afraid one day it won't need the house anymore.